This news program is proudly brought to you by
Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits
and Now Biscuits.
Retail fuel prices expected to increase this month. Government questioned on shift in country's exchange rate. And people of Sepik River raise concerns on proposed tailings dam project. Good evening, this is National Emtv News. I'm Malcolm Wyra. Thank you for joining us. Ministers' absence during the Parliament grievance debate poses a great concern to the backbenchers. Member for North Fly James Donald highlighted this on floor today, stating that it is of no use to hold a debate when half of the ministers are not present.
Member for North Fly Open James Donald, before presenting his grievance debate on the floor, gave an observation of the House regarding the absenteeism of the ministers. Almost three-quarters of the ministers were absent in today's Parliament sitting.
Maybe our debate is just a waste. And that's how observation me observe law. Last 5 years, now me look sit down observe yet. That's always a norm. There have to be something done to stop this. Because who said man baharim talk to? And one probably House observation minute law, making through law, you law, assistant speaker law, talk shower law house.
This argument was also supported by the member for Hiri Koyari Open. The member revealed that most of the time issues presented during the debate were left unattended to and called for the government and the speaker to establish a committee to address these concerns.
Grievances will go to waste if people don't act on them. My encouragement is this. You may come talk now, team hotel below you me. Please knock and hotel nothing. I'm also aggrieved. I know the people are listening, but for the sake of our people of Papua New Guinea, this government, you got him 32 plus minister, 12 plus that's all sit down here now, Lord Tete. You know, good plus Thomas. Please give us the respect, because you may got a government, you may got a one team. When we talk, listen to us. Give us the respect of hearing out and taking some notes.
In the meantime, Prime Minister James Marape reiterated that members may have been absent, but such issues of concern will never be left unattended to, as he is confident that they are following up via various media platforms to have access to the sitting.
What can be replied upon is being replied or processed. So full assurance, just because no one sits at the advisor box doesn't mean no one is listening in. As we speak, all departments listening through TV and internet that is stationed for the uplinks that is taking place in all transactions in Parliament. Appreciating Mogara commentary. Rome was not built in one day, 1 month. Things take time, 1,000 years, they developed their countries. We're only 48 years of independence. And, past is past. We need to construct the future together. All recommendations made are considered, and we will be working them and progressing as we go through.
Of the 35 ministers, only 12 turned up today for the Parliament sitting.
Honourable members, I now adjourn the Parliament to next Tuesday.
Sharon Engnui, National Emtv News.
The Independent Consumer and Competition Commission, or ICCC, has announced the new retail fuel prices for this month, which will take effect on Sunday, the 8th of October, 2023.
For this month, the indicative retail prices, or IRPs, for petrol, diesel and kerosene will all increase on average throughout the country. In Port Moresby, the price of petrol will increase by 11.93 toya per litre, diesel by 19.53 toya per litre, and kerosene by 21.79 toya per litre. In other designated centers, the price of fuel will change according to their quarterly approved domestic freight rates for the last quarter of 2023 and their respective annual retail margins for this year. Petrol will increase by 11.43 toya per litre, diesel by 19.02 toya per litre, and kerosene by 21.09 toya per litre. These retail price increases are mainly attributed to the average increase in international crude oil prices in the month of September 2023. The average increase in crude oil prices was also mainly attributed to the production cut by OPEC and the continuous depreciation of kina value against the US dollars. Domestic retail fuel prices for this month are inclusive of the important parity prices or the imported cost for each petroleum products. Domestic seas and road freight rates for the third quarter of 2023, the annual wholesale and retail margins for 2023, and the Goods and Services Tax or GST. Gladys Killer, National Emtv News.
Meanwhile, as part of enforcement and compliance of the fuel prices, the investigation officers for the Independent Consumer and Competition Commission will conduct inspections to all service stations to ensure prices of declared petroleum products comply with the allowable maximum prices.
The ICCC officers will conduct compliance inspection in Lae, Mount Hagen, Kokopo, and Port Moresby. A total of 12 ICCC investigation officers will be stationed at each of these provinces to conduct inspections in designated areas. For the other remaining provinces, inspections will be supported by the ICCC agents and respective provincial administration. The prices set by the ICCC are the indicative maximum retail prices for which retailers may choose to sell below the ICCC maximum price. Whilst retailers may choose to set fuel prices on their pumps to 1 decimal place, the ICCC will continue to set the maximum price to 2 decimal places. No fuel pump operator should charge above the indicative retail price for this month's price, regardless of decimal places. This is to ensuring compliance with the Price Regulation Act, under which the maximum prices of declared petroleum products are set. Retailers who are displaying prices to 1 decimal place are urged by the ICCC to round their prices down to ensure prices are within the allowable indicative retail prices. ICCC inspectors will continue to conduct spot checks after 8 October 2023 to ensure ongoing compliance by retail fuel operators. ICCC is now calling on consumers to report any instance of overcharging by retailers through the ICCC Protection Division or contacting their regional offices. Gladys Killer, National Emtv News.
People of Sepik River under the Project Sepik organization has raised complaints through the Australian National Contact Point to the Brisbane-based Chinese-owned company PanAust Limited and its PNG-based subsidiary Feeder River Mine Limited. This is in relation to their proposed tailings dam project in PNG.
We want to make a rounding of statement.
The Australian National Contact Point is an Australian-sponsored independent body that has been set up to resolve complaints made against multinational companies such as Feeder Mine. The complaint alleged that PanAust had breached the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development guidelines for multinational enterprises by failing to gain the free, prior and informed consent, or FPIC, of communities who live along the Sepik River, failing to adequately assess and mitigate environmental risk of the project, and inadequately disclosing key information to affected communities and stakeholders. Regarding the complaint that was lodged in 2021, Project Sepik and Jubilee Australia Research Centre On behalf of the Sepik River people, the final statement was published on the 3rd of October on the OECD website.
And Jubilee Australia, on behalf of local communities along the Sepik Wara, and basically saying that they were not consulted as to the development and the of the Freda mine, and because of the fact that they would be largely impacted if this mine was going to come on.
Project coordinator Emmanuel Penny said the independent investigator through the NCP have recommended that Penn-Ost and Freda Mine should disclose the dam analysis to the communities.
What the company did was it intentionally left out this analysis. It wasn't submitted in the environmental impact statement when it submitted to the government seeking the environmental permit. Now, this is very important, this document or this analysis, because the Freda Mine sits on one of the most seismically active places in the world.
The NGOs have identified that not enough information has been released about the proposed tailing dam, which several experts have argued. Louis Maingu, National Emtv News.
Meanwhile, it was revealed that Penn-Ost or Freda Mine have not conducted appropriate, fair, prior and informed consent from the people along the Sepik River before proposing the tailings dam project in the mine in East Sepik Province.
Institute a proceeding like this in Papua New Guinea.
The Australian National Contact Point observed that the process for seeking and obtaining the community's consent was ongoing and therefore did not find Penn-Ost or Freda Mine's conduct to be in breach of the OECD guidelines in this area. However, the Australian National Contact Point did consider that prior consent would be necessary for certain groups, which could include groups who were represented by the Project Sepik and Jubilee Australia in the complaints. According to the project coordinator Emmanuel Penny, he said the people deserve the right to an appropriate, fair, prior and informed consent.
The people along the Sepik River have always stated that there has not been proper FPIC, free, prior and informed consent, taken from them for the government and the company to talk about developing the mine and operating the mine. And so this statement has shown that whilst the company claims to have had FPIC, this statement and the independent investigator has found out that this process is still going on, and so a decision cannot be made about the mine.
Former provincial administrator for East Sepik Province, Dr. Clement Malau, reiterated on a parliament statement by the East Sepik government saying no to the mining.
They said no for two reasons. One, the liability stated in the environmental impact statement is for 100 years. With what Manu just expressed to us, with the volcanic fault, that means that in 100 years, if anything happens to you, the government takes 100% responsibility. The company, zero responsibility.
He added that 100 years is not reasonable for the provincial government to say yes to the mine, given the fact that the proposed tailings dam project will be established at a hazardous spot. Louis Maingu, National Emtv News.
Opposition leader Joseph Lelang has questioned the government to confirm if there was a shift in the country's exchange rate strategy.
Minister Lelang raised a series of questions to the Prime Minister in Parliament to confirm if the government has abandoned the floating exchange rate regime adopted in 1994 in favor of the Atkina strategy that had pre-existed between 1975 to 1994. This is a significant shift in the country's exchange rate policy, which has wider implications. Lelang said the late governor of the central bank in 1994 to 1995, Koyari Tarata, said the hard kina was abandoned in favor of a floating exchange rate and that the kina is no longer determined by one single currency but by the weighted average of a basket of currencies. Mr. Lelang sought clarification after comments by the current acting governor of the central bank, Elizabeth Genia, was published by one of the media houses in Port Moresby. Gladys Killer, National Emtv News.
National Emtv News continues after the break with more stories. Stay with us. You're watching National Emtv News. The Duran Farm Housing Project in Moitaka in Port Moresby for the first time will have access to electricity after 9 years. The electrification and lighting of the Duran Farm was officially launched yesterday by Prime Minister James Marape and Acting Managing Director for the National Housing Commission, Abel Toll.
According to Mr. Toll, in 2014, the National Housing Commission took on the massive Duran Farm housing project at a cost of 28.5 million from the public funds of 2014 to 2022. The national government assigned the National Housing Commission to undertake this enormous construction project comprising about 2,511 allotments. During a speech Toll delivered to the staff of National Housing Commission during Independence Week, he announced that PNG Power Limited and NHC contractor Mapaki Enterprise will be rolling out power pylons, HV and LV lines, and transformer pylons to light up the Duran Farm. Toll said it took 2 weeks for the contractors to light up the Duran Farm with electricity.
The commitment on the occasion of my acting appointment, the Duran Farm will be a priority. Therefore, staying true to our commitment, we have commenced project procurement for key trunk infrastructures. After only 4 weeks of awarding the power project contract, I'm pleased to have my minister, the Prime Minister, and all of the other ministers and distinguished guests here to launch the electrification of Duran Farm.
This is a milestone NHC has achieved this year. Hence, Mr. Toll went on to highlight the achievements NHC has embarked on for this year.
Local contractor, Remnant AJ Group Limited, through the NHC Special Procurement Committee established under the NPC Act to construct and deliver 2.3 kilometers of sewer pipeline from McGregor Police Barracks, from that side all the way to the sewer pond. And that has been done just recently. On Tuesday, we awarded a 3.1 million contract, and our good minister will be presenting the first 10% check to the contractor to mobilize on site and start construction by next week of the main sewer trunk.
3 more contracts were awarded to local contractors by the NHC Special Procurement Committee for the refurbishment of the National Housing Commission headquarters at Tokarara, which has been delayed since 2021. Support from government agencies towards National Housing Commission for the Duran Farm and other important projects for NHC have been so far positive. All stakeholders involved in these projects have been very cooperative to ensure NHC delivered on its mandated roles and responsibilities. Gladys Killer, National Emtv News.
Prime Minister James Marape and Minister for International Trade and Investment Richard Maru have announced that the PNG Asia Investment Conference will be held in Hong Kong this month.
In a short media brief held at the Parliament House yesterday, Prime Minister James Marape announced the upcoming PNG Asia Investment Conference to be held in Hong Kong.
Many of you have been hearing from our promotions that has been going on the site on inaugural and historic fest PNG investment seminar or conference to be staged in Heartland Asia. We're going deep into Asia now, and one of the Asian capital, in fact global capital of business, commerce, trade is Hong Kong. And we, for the first time, PNG will be having an investment conference in the heart of Asia. And I want to announce to the country that what you've been hearing is confirmed. I have with me Minister Maru, who's the Chief Minister. In fact, in our country's endeavor to promote investment and trade as we grow the economic base, diversify, strengthen. All this leads to focus on creating more jobs and a stronger economy for our people.
Supporting the Prime Minister was the chairman of the PNG Chamber of Mines and Petroleum, Anthony Smare. He said investment and trade are critical in creating jobs.
All of our young people, it's a huge pressure the entire country has, not just the government, but particularly business community. Investment and increased trade will create those jobs. And that is why these investment conferences like the PNG Asia Investment Conference is extremely important to unlock the trade and investment opportunities that we need to grow the country further.
The person behind this PNG Asia Investment Conference, who will ensure everything comes to fruition, is the Minister for International Trade and Investment, Richard Maru. He said this conference will further strengthen the trade and investment between PNG and Asia.
We see China in the Asian market as the most important market into the future, because in terms of a future project like LNG, that's where the market is in our food and all the other exports. So we really need to build bridges with Asia, and this important, the first ever Papua New Guinea Asia Business Investment Conference will be held in Hong Kong, which is the hub of business and commerce in Asia, and we're really excited about this.
Prime Minister said they have received good feedback that investors from Japan, Korea, the US, China and other countries will participate in the conference. Prime Minister will officiate the conference on the 16th of October in Hong Kong. Amanda Ilaitia, National Emtv News.
The acting Chief Executive Officer of New Guinea announced that the country's flag carrier will operate an additional service to Hong Kong commencing on the 14th of October, coinciding with the inaugural Asia PNG conference on the 16th and 17th of this month.
According to the acting CEO, Mr. Gary Shadon, a special fare will be placed on the reservation system. The flight will be open to all bookings and has gone on sale commencing yesterday. Mr. Shadon highlighted that PNG is a country with a wealth of natural resources and a growing economy, and highlighted that the hosting of the inaugural Asia PNG Investment Conference will be a success and will attract new investment and trade into the country, adding that the Air New Guinea is a proud major sponsor to the conference. Furthermore, the acting CEO highlighted on the importance of such connections, adding that it will create convenient access for Papua New Guineans to the international hubs that will connect them to the rest of the world. The CEO also mentioned the extensive support of the Mara Peroso government with the 3 billion fleet replacement program will increase service across the region, with extension expected across the Southeast Asia and China on reliable, comfortable jets. Sharon Engnui, National Emtv News.
Tourism Promotion Authority yesterday supported the upcoming World Indigenous Business Forum that will take place in Port Moresby this month. Present to receive the check yesterday from the Tourism Minister Henry E.C. Leonard was Minister for International Trade and Investment Richard Maru.
One of the biggest events to be ever hosted by PNG here in the country's Port Moresby is the World Indigenous Business Forum, which will take place from the 24th to the 26th of October 2023. To support this major event, Tourism Promotion Authority yesterday presented a check of 250,000 kina, where the check was received by Minister for International Trade and Investment, Richard Maru. CEO for PNG TPA, Eric Mossman, said the World Indigenous Business Forum is an event that will help showcase PNG to the world.
This is a sector where we believe it can bring a lot of return back into the country if we stage conferences and meetings. So I think it's an opportune time that we have this very important forum here that has been successfully bidded and negotiated by Minister Maru and his team to bring this significant world event here, and we are privileged to support it, and I'm happy that Honorable Minister is here and we will do the presentation to him.
Minister for International Trade and Investment, Richard Maru, upon thanking TPA for their support in sponsoring the upcoming WIBF forum, he added that TPA also plays an important role when it comes to promoting the country.
Not only to host the World Indigenous Business Forum, but importantly use it as an opportunity to market our country as a tourism destination, number one, and as an investment destination. Apart from our indigenous businesses mingling with their counterparts all over the world and starting to do business and become business partners in whatever. This is a great opportunity, in fact the biggest opportunity after APEC 2018 to really promote Papua New Guinea and put PNG in the world stage.
Minister for Tourism, E.C. Henry Leonard, added that WIBF is an opportunity for PNG to engage with other international businesses and also help promote the country.
So really, having given this opportunity, we're able to create an incision to penetrating right into the heart of the country, and that is the people, the environment and the culture. So this is the place where we can showcase the potential we have, not only as a destination, but as a place where you can invest in tourism industry. And the potential is right here.
As part of the sponsorship, TPA will have a booth set up during the WIBF Business Forum and also have an opportunity to speak in the forum. Godwin Eki, National Emtv News.
Minister for International Trade and Investment, Richard Maru, says the World Indigenous Business Forum will provide business opportunities for PNG businesses when they meet in Port Moresby this month.
For the first time, one of the biggest events next to APEC 2018 that is set to bring together indigenous businesses from around the world to PNG is the World Indigenous Business Forum. As the country looks forward to hosting this international event this month, Minister for International Trade and Investment Richard Maru says business owners in the country will have the opportunity to meet other international business owners where they will be able to establish and create business relationships so as to venture overseas through the partnerships they will create.
We are expecting over 400 international guests coming through to attend the summit, both as delegates and as presenters at the summit. On top of that, we are also expecting the international media to also come.
He said the aim of the meeting is to ensure that businesses create partnerships with international businesses and also to encourage international businesses to do business in the country. Meanwhile, preparations are well underway, where Port Moresby will play host with the opening event to be held at the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium.
So, Minister, I'm excited to tell you that we are planning a great welcome ceremony where all of them, all our own delegates and our foreign delegates and their families will be welcomed at the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium in a big cultural show and festival where the 22 provinces will welcome them into PNG, and our governor will obviously host the event. And amazing Port Moresby.
The World Indigenous Business Forum starts on the 24th to the 26th of October 2023. Godwin Eki, National Emtv News.
Now we take a look at the Nest Fund market report. The kina closed lower at $0.2720 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying 0.2645 US dollars, 0.4126 Australian dollars, 0.2433 euros, and 38.93 Japanese yen. Looking at the commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee closed lower, cocoa closed lower, copra closed lower, palm oil closed higher, crude oil is trading lower, copper closed lower. Looking at the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading higher, the All Ordinaries is trading higher. National MTV News continues after the break with Trukai Sports. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. To the Rugby World Cup, in Pool A, New Zealand and Uruguay took to the field to make a statement in the 2023 Rugby World Cup in France.
A Rugby World Cup first as Uruguay took on New Zealand in the quarter-finals. As the Hooters signaled the first half of the match, both teams looked confident, ready to make a statement performance.
To the ground. Little chip kick over the top here for Will Jordan to chase. He's got McKenzie, although runs away from him, Jordan. Looking for the support, just going to keep going.
New Zealand came in strong, hoping to score the opening try 8 minutes into the match, however failed to seal the deal. In a thrilling first half, New Zealand managed to score a successful try 19 minutes into the match and led at halftime with New Zealand 26 points to Uruguay 0.
Roygaard's going to go short side, goes himself, Cam Roygaard.
And again, the New Zealand defense proved too good for Uruguay, beating them 73 points to 0. The MasterCard player of the match was awarded to Damien McKenzie, who expressed it was a tough match, but he was proud of his team's performance. Amanda Ilaitia, Trukai Sports.
That ends Trukai Sports. The Money Plus weather report is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
The weather forecast for the next 24 hours. For the southern region, Port Moresby City, rain at times. Daru, patchy rain. Kerama, rain at times. Alato and Popondetta, patchy rain. Looking at the Momasa region, Ley City, showers and thunderstorms. Medang, rain at times. Wewak and Vanimo, few showers. Looking at the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, showers and thunderstorms. Kavieng, some showers and thunderstorms. Kokop and Rabaul, some showers and thunderstorms. Kimbe, squally showers and possible thunderstorms. Buka, showers and thunderstorms with possible flash and riverine flooding. Looking at the Highlands region, Mount Hagen City, Goroka and Kundiawa, rain at times, then morning fog. Mendi and Wabeg, rain at times, then morning fog.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Friday, the 6th of October, 2023. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Good night.
This news program was proudly brought to you by
Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits
and Gold Nuggets.